I know the words.
I like this. I do. I feel like I'm like in the islands, drinking my mimosa.
Yeah, man.
Come on,
Mimosas.
babe. Happy morning.
Happy morning to
I mean,
you.
it's, I love mornings. I do.
Do you really?
Yes.
What kind of mornings do you love? Wow, this is very retro, and I had no idea what I was doing to people when and I decided to get that.
Especially when you're living that island life, which it's like paradise. And I was thinking about I remember the Uber driver that I remember when we didn't have a car.
I do, but before we hear the story,
what?
Tip of the glass.
Cheers.
The land of oranges and happiness. Drink your mimosa if you have one. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, go ahead and pour yourself a mimosa.
You are free to pour and drink your mimosas.
Anyway, so back to the Uber driver story.
Uber driver.
Yeah, so we didn't have a vehicle for I don't know how long. And our son needed to get registered for school. He was going to be a senior. And got the Uber. And the guy, I guess he thought we were like tourists or something, because he's like, yeah, it's always paradise here. Like in St. Augustine, and I was like, yeah, well, I know, we love it, and it's honestly, it's felt that way. So, it's been nice, very nice.
It is nice. Was able to go out with Cole today.
Oh,
and we did some.
That's right.
Did you not know that this is? Yeah.
No,
so,
I know.
So we were doing some body surfing.
How was it?
It was good, but here's the thing, though. I realized that because most of us have a certain way that we've shown up at the beach for forever.
Yeah.
When someone says body surfing, someone else goes, "Oh yeah, I body surf."
Yeah.
So what do you think that is? When I say we body surfed, have you seen this?
Okay, so the way that I think of originally, like body surfing, is like you catch a wave, and you just kind of, take the wave in.
Yeah, right. So you see this thing is about to crash you and you jump in.
I've done that.
That's not it.
No.
And that's what everyone thinks, and so. I'm thinking of rebranding it, renaming. It's not just that we do it differently. We literally are surfing.
You do. Different than what I
thought. With our bodies. We have like a little surfboard on our hands. It's called a hand plane.
Yeah.
And I wish that I'll bring it in next time, because I got a really good one, really fun one, the Do Happy one. And
you could ask one of the
so
kids.
you get going into the wave. It's fine.
Next time.
Yep. But you get going into the wave with you have fins that you kick so you can swim really fast. And then you're in the wave, and you're like in the tube, just like you see the surfers in the we call
barrels.
It getting barreled. Yep. And but we have this little surfboard on hand that you're pushing. Yeah. You're holding the top part of your body up, and you're steering with.
Right.
And so
that's cool. I know. I don't think I've tried it yet, so we'll see this summer.
We should call. But I was able to do that with Cole this morning and have a really fun time.
Yeah, and also the boys went surfing for a short time, and because they were back before you, and I was like, I wonder I'm like, where's Daddy? And anyway, so I figured that's what you were doing, bright and early.
That is what happens in the land of sunshine.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? We're having
so back to the Uber. So you were getting an Uber. You were getting it to, and that's what he said.
Yeah, he said
I'm sure a lot of people are asking, like, wait. Why are you Ubering?
Okay, so we were Ubering because I think I said that we didn't have a vehicle for a long when we moved here, and I don't know, this,
So we jumped into this island paradise. I just formed my business from Mexico.
Yeah.
And it's funny because some of the stuff where I get to renew still has like .mx, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But we had just formed that. Mm-hmm. Then we came back to the States and lived with my parents for like a month or two, something like that.
Yeah.
And then
3 months.
And then just as we're about to move into here, both of our vehicles literally simultaneously are gone.
Crazy.
We move in anyway, and we're like, whatever. Yeah. So we were here for a few months without any.
Thanks to our friends, the Bassettes, who actually let us use their big van
big
that
van.
We were able to load stuff up and transfer it from. We didn't have much stuff though. We only had like a few carloads of stuff.
Yeah. Yep. And so we were here without any way of getting around. We had our feet. We had some bikes. We have a garage full of bikes. Yeah. Now.
Walking. A lot of walking.
But everything is here to walk.
Yeah.
You're on an island.
It's been fun.
I was going to say, it reminds me of the song. I know the words.
No, it's been fun. But I was thinking about that we were recording some of the morning laughs when we just got our new vehicle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
So it's been like a little bit over a year that we've had finally bought a vehicle.
Subi, which I'm thinking we might need to rename it the Mystery Machine.
Why?
Because of a name that we're going to discuss. Do we want to introduce the name? Because we left people in the lurch about the name of
oh yes,
of a
I'm
special
sure
someone.
A lot of people know, but for those that don't, our baby boy grandson is here.
Yes, he is.
What's your name? What's your
what's my name?
What's your grandpa
I
name?
am Oppie or Poppy.
Yeah, I've been calling him Poppy.
Or Happy. I'm like.
And he's like Happy. I don't know.
I kind of like that one.
You're Poppy. That's what I've been calling you, Poppy.
Well,
hey,
Poppy. That's what you call me in like the room.
Poppy.
Like, where to get, oh, Poppy.
No,
that's what she's.
not.
Yes, she does. She does.
I don't.
And then.
Oh my gosh! Help me.
You went there. Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No,
so
that's not even true.
No, it's not. Anyway.
It's not that kind of episode.
You went there. I'm just going with you. I'm just picking up what you're laying down, girl.
Okay.
But no, Happy. I could imagine Happy. That would make me feel happy.
Happy.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. But I am named. I know.
Are you really stuck on this? Are you stuck on this?
Yeah.
You
well,
are?
originally I was going to go Ami, like, Ami, like A-M-I.
Mm-hmm.
But now I went to Gami. I know that sounds kind of weird, like Gami or something. I don't know. At first I wasn't crazy about it, but the reason I said I stuck with it, Gami, is because Ify would and this is years ago, he would say, hey, Gami. And I'm like, why are you calling me that? That's like a grandma name. And then I always kept that in the back of my mind, like thinking like, if I ever had grandkids, I think I might want to be called Gami. So when it finally happened, and I became a grandma.
Okay. So
about almost 2 weeks ago. I've tossed it around, and I said, yeah, that's me. I'm Gami. And because when we were at the hospital, Saba's like to his name, which we haven't yet announced.
We're about to announce it, so stay here after the commercial.
Do you want to go to Gami? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be Gami. That's what I'm going to be. So it's Gommi.
Yep,
it's like a play of Gami.
So
right?
Yes, it is. But I also think about this too, and we've done this. What does a good parent do every time they name their kid?
Yeah.
What do they do with the name?
What do they do with the name?
What do they do with the name? You gotta find out how people can make fun of it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
True.
And so I think Gami, immediately I say Gummy bear.
Okay.
Right?
And then I was thinking, like, I hope I don't ever lose my teeth.
Then I was thinking that would actually be in character if you lost your teeth. It would be perfectly acceptable. It's okay. Gummy.
Oh gosh, no.
So, so you have to consider those things.
Yeah, I guess. All right, baby name.
And
which, he's making it a
do you want to bring him
I need to let her know to bring him.
Okay.
But his name is...
No. Let's say it when we see him.
But he might cry.
It's the big reveal. That's just how they do it.
Okay. So in the meantime, as she's getting him prepared...
So this is how the professionals do it.
Hopefully he's not asleep. But I had to send a text, to my daughter.
This is how the professional shows do it. They're like in the middle
text,
they text,
yeah.
and then things
happen. Yeah. So, but he she had a wonderful delivery. But we haven't been on here since the last
2 weeks. Last week
when we went into the hospital and they said go home. Well, that Saturday we ended up, I could say I was her coach. She ended up laboring all day. She did great. And so I was like, my sign to go to the hospital would be if she starts to cry. And she's like, I can't take it anymore. Because that's how I remember being. And so we finally, after what?
I've got to invoke Fight Club here.
What?
I'm invoking Fight Club. Have you ever seen Fight Club? I'm sorry.
What is that?
Fight Club, there's 2 rules. One of them, the first rule is you don't tell people about Fight Club. I think labor and delivery stories, we don't tell people about labor and delivery stories.
Why? That's not right?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. Well, guys don't want to hear it.
But maybe give us the fast version.
The fast version.
Yes.
All right. So basically, we got to the hospital. She was 6 centimeters, and I'm like, what? Oh my gosh.
Now we're okay.
Okay, I know. I have to give these details because some people like to hear stories like that. She got an epidural and pushed for 3 hours. Is that what you wanted me to say?
No, I just wanted you to fast forward, and then the baby was there.
She pushed for 3 hours. Actually, I was a little nervous because I thought maybe like in the second hour that she might have to go into a C-section. But thank God, I called Donnie. I'm like, pray.
And I did.
Yes.
None of this was covered in the show prep. You were like,
no. I'm sorry. So we went to So here we go, and baby was born.
Baby was born.
7 pounds, 15 ounces.
Yes, our bundle of joy, who will be here in a moment because we did get the confirmation message. So we'll leave you right there for a minute.
Okay, well then you chat.
No. We can chat as we're waiting for the baby.
Okay. I was just like, as I'm prepping the story, because I also want to talk about his name, don't you? No?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. He was born on the second day of Passover.
Let's talk about that.
And then the reason why we weren't here last year, I'm sure you missed us, or last week rather, was because we were celebrating what we do. We kind of mix mash Passover and Resurrection Day together.
Yeah.
And that's kind of our family tradition.
But we hadn't done it in several years.
Couple years, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But here,
it's a big one that we did, I think. No, we did one at a friend's house. All right.
And we had the whole gang together. Mariah was here from Denver, and everyone was here. It was real special. Mm-hmm. But tell us about the name. Well, let's hold off on the name until he comes here.
Until he gets here?
Yeah. There's something that we kind of teased last week.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And we can, let's go there. And then when, I almost said the name.
Which a lot of people probably
When
know.
the baby comes here, then we'll interrupt for the baby. But we teased last week something we realized, or last episode, something we realized I think was the beginning of the landslide of many good things in our lives, in our family, in our finances, and business, in our living situation, and all of these things. And it happened not by accident, but we started getting together. Mm-hmm. And
right.
I think we kind of coined it masterminding, but
I think yes, and I think before we did this, we never really made time for it, so it was like, I don't know. Yes, but we started getting together, and that was like our time of just talking and vision and just dreaming. And during that time, I remember is when all of these ideas and the stuff that we wanted to do for our lives, like we're like kind of like, what if we did this? Why not?
Yeah.
And we keep talking about it, and we think like, oh yeah, it's like, as time. Oh,
what does my ear detect?
He's here.
Why, I think it is our very first grandson, the love and the joy of my life, who made me happy. When skies are gray. Everyone, welcome.
You want to say it?
Yeah. Here we go. Come here, give me the boy. Give me the boy.
There's Saba, our beautiful daughter. I knew you wanted to do the circle of life.
Ooh, I like the camera.
It's on.
Well, you're live. There we go. Welcome to the king, everyone. This is, say his name.
Reuben.
Shalom.
Shalom. If we were to say his name, what does his name mean?
Son of peace.
Son of peace. It also means, look, a son of peace. And I can just play. Oh. So, oh my gosh, you let me keep him the whole time? Oh my gosh.
He's
wide awake.
He is wide awake. Hey, look at those baby blues and the baby boy.
Oh. Okay.
Yep.
So his name is Reuben with a V.
With a V.
Like the Reuben sandwich, but with a V.
Like Reuben, the name.
Okay, or Reuben, one of the oldest son of.
He's finding your microphone. The oldest son of Joseph.
Yes, of Joseph. No, not Joseph.
Not Joseph. Isaac.
No, honey.
Jacob.
Oh my
Jacob.
gosh.
Jacob.
Thank you, Sav.
It's one of the three. Thank you. So, and he said, "Look, a son." Are you sure it was Jacob?
Yeah, you told me it was Jacob.
I know I told you that, but I could have been lying because I believe, yes, it was. It was Jacob and Esau. Yep. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And but the word shalom means so many things more than
peace,
just peace,
tranquility, abundance, prosperity.
Peace, tranquility. They're not going to hear her because of the microphone stuff.
Yeah, abundance,
so peace,
wholeness. I mean, it's like all of these wonderful words of just abundance. Like if you can think of the, just like so much. Oh, Boo Boo. Okay. So and when Sava decided so she picked this name, like how would you say it? Like you always like that name, Reuben. And when we looked it up, we're like, whoa. And Sava has the most beautiful, unique name herself, Sava Leone.
Do you want to pull her into the frame so that, because you have like half of her body.
But she didn't really want to show herself, I don't think.
Okay.
Are you? Okay. So his name, it just went so well with her name. Like she even said that. She's like, ooh, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she really liked that.
Well, because I knew I wanted him to have a peaceful name that was also Hebrew, that went with the energy that I felt.
Yes, that was an energy you felt for a long time.
Yeah.
He likes the camera. Do you go and take him before he steals the show from us?
Yeah.
Oh, so bye, my boy.
Bye, Ruby. And I call him Ruby.
Ruby, baby Rue. And so I'm thinking bye-bye. We are going to rename Subi into the Mystery Machine because we have Ruby, Rue.
Yeah.
We're the gang, and that's the Mystery Machine.
True,
so we're
true.
going.
Okay.
Maybe.
Bye, Reuben. We love you. Gami loves you.
Aww.
And Patchy.
Oh, Patchy.
Not. She went to my. Okay.
Yeah.
That is not the name. I do not choose
the name.
Patchy. Be gone.
Poppy. Love you, Poppy.
That's you get to call me Poppy. Happy or Oppy. So anyway.
Okay.
So back to this thing that before this, I was either a busy school teacher, busy running ministries at church. I was busy with work, busy as a salesperson, and busy owning a business, and just busy.
Yes.
And I did my thing, and you trusted me to do my thing, and you were busy, like homeschooling and doing the home thing and the kids thing and the research and all. And you did your thing, and your thing was here, mine was here, and sometimes I didn't like the way you did your thing, and you didn't like the way I did my thing.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And what I felt like was, like in the moments where we did come together during those times, and there's small kids, it was tough, right? That there was like sometimes a tug of war until we got together, I think, in a way that allowed us to dream. And I think we went to a different place. I think that happened by accident, didn't it? Or
to what? A different place? Oh, what do you mean by a different place?
Well, we went out for coffee.
Yes, we did. We'd go on for our coffee dates.
That's where you got me addicted.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we would go to a Cuban coffee place.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the importance of it was just like the just having that time to just dream and to talk and to think and to believe and I don't know, just like I remember just those feelings of like the possibilities of it. And I feel like during that time a lot was churning in my heart of like where we were headed. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like I could just taste it, but I didn't know like the how it was going to happen. But when we decided to take those trips and like Michigan Michigan was our first one, and then things just started lining up.
Well,
but
we decided out of nowhere. Well, it started with what if?
Yeah.
And we were able to play around, and I think that's the one thing that we've been missing for a long time, because I was so serious with the serious responsibilities that I had. And you were so serious with the serious responsibilities that you had, and neither of us were measuring up to this great and wonderful standard. But when we were in a place and we kind of played together.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why like we kind of like do the show, because it's like a little bit of play, like we get to play.
Yeah.
But we were playing together. We were in a different place where we weren't looking at piles of laundry or hearing screaming kids.
Yeah.
We had a drink in our hand. We could have been the richest people in the world as we're drinking. As we're drinking, mm-hmm. You need to give me some ears.
Yeah.
As we're drinking our drinks, we could have been the richest people in the world. Mm-hmm. And so we allowed those things to be away from us. we didn't give into the guilt of like, well, you should be with your children and you should be, like you should be cleaning and you should be like, oh, you should be coming up with this for your business. Like we didn't give into the guilt. We valued the time together. And from that, we went from what if to like, hey, we're going to do this thing. And we started calling ourselves, at that time it was traveler. We took on like the idea of like, we're travelers. And we started kind of growing from that.
But it also gives us, for like, I'm saying like as a married couple, like that time to really get to know each other again in a way. Because, our lives have been so consumed with just having children and just the kids and then we were going to church and, serving there and just like you go on and him with work. And it's like, so when we started to just kind of like, our minds just started to connect in a way where we're like, what are we doing? Like we've been living this life, like kind of like that rat race, or not the rat race, but just like on a hamster wheel, just like every day, just kind of doing our thing. And we're not dreaming. We're not, like getting outside of our circle or our radius and I always would say like, I know like there's something more in it here. And so as we got together talking and believing but I feel like that strengthened our relationship as well.
Yes.
Our marriage.
And I feel like some of the resources we were putting into other places were this is Ephraim. He's asking for a ride. Hey bud, we'll be there to pick you up in a little while. This is what happens when we're parents. We'll pick you up in a bit. All right. So, but I feel like that every shred of our resources was spoken for. It was work. It was our kids. And it was church. And so any bit of money that we weren't using to survive was going there, and any bit of time that wasn't used to survive was going there as well. And I felt like we were busy, but not connected.
Right.
I mean, and if you would have looked, and I think we would have said, "Oh, we have a great marriage. It's great."
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
No. And we were connected, but I'm saying like the deep soul connection, like where it's like, I don't know. I can't explain it unless you like have really know what I'm talking about. It's like this deep soul connection.
Oh, I think it came
like,
from
whoa.
There was a word that I think we felt guilty for having, and it's the word. It's want. Like, what do you want, or what do I want? And we're like, well, that's selfish. I think that's how we were kind of taught, or we felt like it's wrong to communicate. But once we actually started saying what we wanted, like if everything could be done, if everything is possible, what do you want?
But it's also the feeling that I'm trying to share is that it was like there's no boundaries. Like there's just like, it's like the world is out, like we can just dream huge and dream big. And like so, nothing else matters.
Well, and it came from the fact of I don't know where the seed of thought came from. That we were basically, as Christians, we believe that we could do all things through Christ. We believed that we were co-creators with Father God, the Creator.
Right.
We believed there were all these things that were inside of us, but we weren't really taking it and doing anything with it. We were still living in this other, just as like it's just place where other people kind of like tell us what to do and how to do it. It wasn't anyone's fault. I just feel like that we started coming together and saying, well, what if?
Right.
And then from the what if came a little bit of hope, and from that hope we started acting upon. And then the action created evidence, and then we started doing more and then more, and then but one of the things that we didn't stop doing, and it's been a consistent Sunday for the last 5-6 years.
I mean, it's even when we were out traveling, we were like always find a coffee shop or somewhere to go, to talk. And we talk, usually it takes up our entire morning, where we sit and talk about life and whatever it leads to.
And even still, I can feel like there can be that weight of guilt sometimes, like, oh, like we should be there for the younger kids or whatever. But like, we're not talking about the whole week, people. We're talking about 2 hours. 2 hours where we're connected and everything else is shut off.
Yeah.
The results of it have been it's been amazing. It's been, I don't know. Well, what do you say has come from that?
A lot. Like I said, I feel like our relationship has grown stronger. Like we know each other more, even though we knew each other already, from before. But it was just I don't know. It's just I feel like you heard me out. Like you heard me out. Like my desires, my heart. You heard me out, and then I heard you out, and where you stood, and maybe you had your weaknesses or fears or whatever, and you heard those, and then I was able to understand, okay, I get that, but also I feel that when we, just a lot of things happen, beautiful things happen because we decided to just come together and we didn't come to with this term, but masterminding. I heard it in the other day in that book, and which I think is like a superpower.
It is,
if you think about it, for a married couple or for a couple that Well,
I think so. Married couples, I think we have like this extra ability to do it, especially because there's the physical connection, and you can get them to call you Poppy as well. But for non-married people, you can. The idea is that it's friends who are going in the same direction and who can encourage and who will hear you. And I'm not saying that everything is a yes check mark along the way, because really what we're talking about is almost like a three-legged race,
right?
Where we both started getting in sync together. And that's where we started having victory in our finances, which we used to be afraid of doing and we would avoid doing. One of our kids was I don't know, he was an alien, just a mean, not what we raised for a little while, but we saw him change very quickly through this. We have seen finances come, cars come, living situations come, hobbies. My entire work has come from what we've dreamed up.
Yeah.
It's almost like we've made this thing up. Remember creative writing.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, and you're writing about just weird stuff. It's that's what we're doing, I feel like, as adults.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel it's so important. I mean, it's so important for communication in general. But anyway, I think we need to wrap it up.
Well, you know what else is important?
What?
I think you sharing your mimosa with me. Because that's what gummies do.